Good morning. It's time for Snowdome of the Day devotion. I'm holding a shortened cloche shape Snowdome that was created in the last decade. It's made in China, but sometimes you'll find a similar shape that was made in Florida. This one's from Chicago and features dimensional buildings and what we call flitter. If you find glitter in your Snowdome, a collector would call that flitter. It's also if you have shaped pieces, say bats in a Halloween dome. Something I think is interesting with this dome is that it gives you a panoramic or 360-degree view of the Chicago skyline in rainbow colors. But it's a different kind of view. If I were to use my camera to do a 360-degree rendition of my backyard where I'm standing, I would be the center point of that 360-degree view. But in the Snowdome, we are on the outside of that 360-degree view. We look from the outside towards the middle. In that way, this dome makes me think about how there's internal and there's external ways of thinking about how God works in our lives. One thing I'm thinking about in this time of social isolation is that we believe that God works on us all the time internally, and that we show the evidence of that grace and that love externally. Something that I think is difficult for us is that often we show that external grace through physical service or proximity. Now's the time for us to be a little bit more creative about that. How is it that we express our care and our love from a distance? It might not be the appropriate time to make physical donations, to gather large groups of people to make a meal together. And yet it is a time to consider how our external actions match our internal sense of God's call in our lives and explore other ways that we might express that. A question for us today then is, if God's love surrounds us as the flitter in this dome does, how is it that we can encounter God in new ways, and how can we find new ways to express the internal love of God that we understand in the world in a time of social distancing? Here's a short prayer. Oh God, we give thanks for the objects in our lives that might have seemed accidental or incidental, and give thanks that with you we can use our imaginations to explore our faith and to deepen it in any time. Amen.